It's not a regular tour, no, it's a studio tour, so come show us your stuff.
Hey, I'm AnalogWeapon. I'm AnalogWeapon. I'm going to show you my studio, which is just a corner of my living room, but it's where I make things. And also here, which is not my living room, this is the basement, so it's like two places. Yeah, I'm going to show you my stuff. I don't really have a lot of stuff. You don't really need a lot of stuff to make things. You don't need anything to make anything. Well, you do, but the main thing you need is to want to make things and to do what you want and not do what you don't want. Don't do what you don't want. No. Gobi, quiet. This is my area. Sorry about the autofocus sound. It's in the corner of my living room, which is pretty cool for like hanging out with the family and like seeing light outside and stuff, but kind of sucks sometimes for hanging out with the family. But like if I want to make sound or something, but I've gotten used to just doing shit on my headphones, or I've got another place I go if I want to really make sound out loud. So yeah, like you can actually see here, I don't have a speakers. I don't have any monitors. The main thing I use is these AKG K240s. Some of the Magpie users will be familiar with those. He likes those too. I like them because they're pretty good. They just sound nice to me for the price that they are, and especially for the price that they are, like they last a long time. This is like my second, maybe third, I think only second pair I've had in like 15 years. Like they're not like, they don't seem super tough, but I don't know, maybe I just had good luck. I mean, I usually break shit all the time because I do, and these have been okay. Part of the thing that helps is they have this headphone, it disconnects on the headphone part. So if I fuck up the cable, I can just get this. It's a TA3 connector, and you get that, and you can just make a new headphone cable, which is cool, and I've done to extend the life of those. For audio interface, I have this USB Pre 2. I work at this place, Sound Devices, so I have some stuff that I borrow from work, or these are really nice preamps. This thing, it's a USB audio interface with 2 inputs and 2 outputs, but the preamps are, mic preamps are really nice. They're definitely better than like Focusrite or something. I mean, they're maybe not quite like Metric Halo or whatever, but like they're close. I don't know, specs, math, whatever. They sound nice. They're too much for what I even usually use, but it's just a nice interface that I have access to, so I use it. I'll try not to be a big advertisement. Then for going in with like a guitar or something, I just use this little DI thing. Radio, pretty much everything they make is really nice, I think. They're just super tough and they just work well. This particular one I like because it's phantom powered. The main reason I like that because it's phantom powered is because it works well with this with a contact mic that I use here, this Barksberry. That's cool in the field because in my field recorder uses phantom power, and I phantom power that little thing, and then I plug my mic into it. This impedance of this input is for like a high impedance thing, which contact mics are, including those little piezo elements that we're all familiar with mostly. You get way better frequency response out of a contact mic with something like this. The impedance is a big deal, like, because you can just plug in like this thing or a little piezo element to a normal like mic input or whatever, and you'll get sound and it sounds cool, but if you get the impedance matched right, it's way better. You get way more low end like response, and it's kind of opens up a whole new listening experience. So I highly recommend, if you have a contact mic, even little piezo one, getting something like this or finding some way to match the impedance of it, like something that's for high Z or whatever. It's math and engineering stuff. Like a contact mic has a high impedance output, and if you have a high impedance input, they're matched, and then it sounds better. So the computer, that's what I normally record to, because, you know, it's easy and cheap. Just make a computer with parts from like someplace that's way cheaper. I don't have time or money for all that like Apple shit. It just runs Windows, which, you know, whatever, not the best. Sometimes I run Linux. Lately I've been more Windows. This thing is pretty cool. Actually, I found this at the pawn shop like 2 months ago. It's just I think M Audio Oxygen 40. It's just a controller, just USB, you know. USB sending MIDI. It's got all these nice little sliders and knobs for sending MIDI control. It's transposable and octaves. Got the typical nod and pitch bend. It's not weighted. There's no aftertouch, but I mean, it's a nice. I got it for $50. I think that's pretty cool. Like when I looked at them on eBay, they were like over that. So generally, for what people are buying, so that's pretty cool. So I use that mostly for MIDI input. I do a lot of like MIDI stuff because I actually don't have a lot of instruments. So the coolest instrument I have is over here. This Sub 37. It's a Moog monophonic synth. It's, you know, makes awesome sound, like all the Moog stuff generally. I do actually use it for MIDI control sometimes as well, just because it has aftertouch, which is awesome. I like that a lot. So I use that sometimes for that too, but usually just to make, you know, sounds that are cool, because it's a Moog. This down underneath here is my Roland JP 8000. Had this forever. It's the first like serious instrument I ever owned. I bought it, I don't know, when I was a teenager in the late 90s. Like my first job, I saved up and bought this, and that's how old it is. It's kind of my cat's coughing over there. She's got a thing. Arch. Sorry, Arch. This is not an analog synthesizer, but it's an analog modeling synthesizer, which it makes pretty cool sounds. It makes cool like pads and drones and stuff. It's, you know, polyphonic. It's pretty cool. A lot of the knobs are like janky now. Like they don't. The values are spurious. I mean, they'll like jump around even when you're not touching it. So you have to like like tap it or move it to some spot where it stays still. So it's kind of got a life of its own. I still love the sounds it makes. Sometimes I'll just use my computer and just you know, control the values of the knobs from there, so I don't have to touch them, and then it works fine. I just use it like a module, you know. My mic, I have this. It's a Shure SM81. That's cool. It's just some small diaphragm condenser. I just use it for talking on the internet and doing anything vocals. It's not super fancy. I have a cooler mic that I borrow from work that I use for like if I'm doing super critical or really like want it to be super hi-fi or whatever. And a lot of that goes into this just standard shitty little Behringer Xenix thing. Also, the classic Tascam Porta Studio. I use this for all sorts of stuff just to make something. I'm just used to like these EQs and stuff. It's just like super kind of noisy and it has a certain sound. And obviously the tape recorder, I use that just for recording to. I want something to sound like it's on tape or get things off tape, you know, because I can do normal speed and then it's just a normal tape deck. And you know, it's got behind back whatever, you know, tape. Then it's my guitar. My guitar expertise, or whatever you'd say, is about nothing. I'm kind of like, I just want to have, like, I kind of know enough to, like, make notes with the guitar, and I want to make guitar sounds sometimes, so I found this at the music store. I had a bunch of shitty old guitars from when I was a teenager, and they kept breaking and pissing me off, so I finally just picked this one up. I don't know anything about guitars. It works. I like it. It's got these things that lock down, which is kind of cool. It seems like it stays in tune a little better than other guitars I've had. I don't know. You guitar people might think it's cool or dumb or whatever. It's a guitar. it's a guitar. Then I have just the standard tape deck, which I don't use as much because I can do most things with this, but this was at the thrift store and I wanted a tape deck just for like a standalone tape deck, so I just use that sometimes. That's that thing I bent a while ago. There's a video on that. A bunch of old tapes sitting around, a bunch of old CDs from old releases back in the early 2000s. So everything runs to this old silly patch bay here, which is kind of nice. Patch bays are nice to have. Everything on this USB pre and all the ins and outs and all the outputs of this and the outputs of this and all the ins and outs of this mixer and the tape players. It all runs through here, which is really nice because everything's just, it's basically like hooking everything up the way you normally would, but then if I ever, all the outputs of things are along the top row and the inputs are on the bottom, and sorry if you know how patch bays work, but if you don't, it's kind of interesting and useful. The outputs, that's in a normal, it's our half-normaled configuration, which mine is, like, this output is automatically connected to this input, so it's basically just connecting the stuff up normal, but then you have these patch points. So, like, this is my Moog keyboard over here. It comes out of it and goes into here, and then it's connected directly to right here, which is going into the input of this mixer. So when I turn this on and get the volume up and make sound, it automatically is going into this input, which is cool. But if I ever wanted to switch it, like say to the input of this 4-track, I can just grab it here and I plug in there, and then the input of this 4-track is right here, which I just know because I set it all up. I probably should label it. It's just for me. So now it's going into here on this input, which is cool. And also, it's still going to here. That's what the half-normal thing is. If I plug something in here, like that's going down into this mixer, it automatically cuts off what's here, which is also cool because I can, you're not connecting two things at the same point. So like if I want to plug, whatever, like this keyboard over here, I forget which one that is. Whatever, say it's 13. Haven't used that in a while. So now this keyboard is going into this input, and this keyboard is cut off from this input just by doing that, which is, it's kind of weird, but you get used to it, and it's nice because you don't have to be switching and going behind things. Everything you need is like right there. Magical patch bay. Those are good to have. Here's my old looper from decades ago, and it still works, and it sounds pretty crazy because it's so old. I like to use that. I do a lot of recording on like shitty old tape. This is another tape from like so long ago. This old tape, I recorded so much stuff onto. It had like some old family stuff, it says. I can't focus on it, but I found that in a thrift store like in 97 or something, and I've recorded so much stuff. Like that one album of mine, that Tales Through Dust, is all mastered to this like super shitty tape, which is I like to do sometimes because I like that sound. There's some old tapes just from old releases. I should probably dump some of that, or I could probably put it in Not Your Media. It's a lot of my friends' stuff from bands we used to be in and stuff around here and where I live in Wisconsin. Same, just old CDs. Yeah, just stuff. A lot of that stuff's probably around out there or whatever. Old tapes. Same, just like I said, I like to save old tapes just to record over because they have different sounds. These are kind of cool. I don't know. They just look like that. I found them. Oh. That's my old spring reverb. I use that sometimes. Missing is my Headrush B2, that delay looping pedal that I circuit bent a while ago and made a video about. That's usually sitting right here. Let's go into the dungeon. Same thing down here. I left this place a total mess because that's honest. It's what it normally looks like. I'm not a very clean person. Dungeon basement area. So there's the old stereo that I use to listen to things out loud. This speaker's here. This workbench is just total mess right now. I do, you know, anything like physical, like if I had to like drill holes in things or I have different tools, you know. And then back over here, it's more like the electronics kind of area. There's that head rush pedal that I was filling in these holes that I made. Some stupid toy I was working on, circuit bending. This is all it's circuit bending. Just a bunch of junk for circuit bending. It's an organ amp. I use it for hearing sounds when I'm doing circuit bending. And for playing the guitar, sometimes, but not very much. There's one of those old guitars I talked about. Actually, that's my wife's, but from when we were kids, it got all fucked up. This one still kind of works, but it's like, it was annoying it was fucked up so much you couldn't really play music properly through it. And this is my old one from when I was a kid in the 90s. Super shitty, like, you know, some like China Strat. Like, I was actually thinking I might take these and do more fun stuff with them besides trying to even fix that anymore. Just more junk. There's that Hello Kitty keyboard that I'm not getting any bends out of. It's kind of frustrating. There's a cool drum thing that it's probably dark to see, but it has piazzos in it for like every pad. There's 5 pads in it, 5 piezo, and that was really cool. I actually had some bends that I was getting. I had different drum sets, and it just stopped working, and that happens sometimes. Some other stupid toy that I have 2 of, so I thought, oh, it's cool because there's 2 of them. It's not cool, and there's no cool sounds in there, really. So stupid. Shitty Radio Shack multimeter. It's good to have a multimeter because you can see just if things are connected or resistance and that sort of shit. Like when I grab these old pots or whatever out of just random gear. I salvage a lot of parts, you know, from old things, and then I can, if it doesn't say on there, I can use the multimeter to be like, oh, it's a 5K pot or whatever. Shitty old mixer that was, I took apart because it stopped working, and I wanted to try to make some noise with it. A thing I did a long time ago, back in the early 2000s when I was doing more harsh noise stuff, is I just took an old mixer like this and opened it up and just did shit, you know, like as part of the show. When I was playing live with it, I would just like flip it over, and I just knew places I could touch and stuff, and then using other pedals I could make really cool noise. This one hasn't got much so far because these faders, like, I don't know what happened, but look how shitty, like crazy rusted they got. It got wet at some point or something. But I'm still messing with it. I might get noise out of that. Kind of like Andreas, or sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name, Andreas, like no input mixing stuff. Like it's kind of the same thing, but I even like have it apart and just like get squeals and stuff out of it by, you know, shorting things by just touching here. So that's a thing. Oh, this is one thing that I was working on that I forgot. There's a cool salvage kind of shop around here in my area that has cool like test equipment things and stuff. Usually more like, not like, you know, Heimbach cool stuff, but like more like industrial things for machines and stuff like that. But I can't fucking get this out of here now. This old case, which I thought was cool because this is like a Euro rack kind of thing. Like you could have, I don't know if it's deep enough to put them low so you could keep stuff plugged in and then close it, because it's actually, the hardware is nice and it's some vintage thing. It's for this, whatever that is, PyroServe. That'd be cool. Euro rack little portable case. I would just hook up the speaker and to the, like it's a normal speaker, and I can make sounds with this, and you can hear that all. Use a bow. Everyone who likes drone doesn't really like drone if they don't have and use a bow. That's an objective fact. Here's the piano. That was what I was saying. It's a piano. Is that it? Does that sound weird? It's a piano. This is another thing from my work. It's just a digital field recorder. It's 744T. I could bore the fuck out of you about this. It's just a really good field recorder. That's the one I use for field recording. This microphone is the shit. This is the coolest microphone in the world. That's an objective fact. Let me focus on it somehow. This is a Sheps CMC6. This is awesome. It has these capsules. Well, you can switch them out. I have a hypercardioid one on here right now. This is not a mic I could afford on my own. This is borrowed from work. This is the nicest microphone I've ever heard in my life. It's just really clear, clean. I mean, look it up, Sheps. It's like, they're cool. Pretty. My main mic I use for field recording when I'm walking around. It's this Rode NT4. It's just a stereo XY. It's kind of nice because it has a single cable with these 2 XLR only. For the price, it's pretty good. Got a shock mount. Shock mount's important. Like, I see a lot of people, when you're using those handhelds, like the H5N Zoom, little Zoom ones and Sony ones and stuff, those are really nice, but made like 10 times better if you get some sort of shock mount. You can get these types of things, like most of those, like the Zoom ones and the Sony ones have. Shh. Thank you. The Zoom and Sony ones have threaded things on the bottom, and you can get these shock mounts that have that, and handling noise goes away and your recordings sound 1,000,000 times better. Please, everyone, get those. You could get one of those, Simon, for your Zoom recorder, and then that'll sound cool. So that's most of my stuff. That's my place. Just a bunch of... But the main thing to remember is that you don't need a bunch of stuff to make cool stuff. Art is intention. Make up will do something cool, Ezra.